chat now. The Western Cape Police Commissioner, Thembisile Patekile, has given a breakdown of the crime statistics from the first 3 months of the year. While there appears to be a glimmer of hope with a reported decrease in the murder rate, the province continues to grapple with violent crime. The Commissioner joins us now for an analysis around those figures and also to help us unpack the ongoing challenges posed by gang violence. Lieutenant General, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for making time for us. I want to start off with looking at the decline in the murder rate, which has been consecutive now over the past three quarters at least when we look at murder. What would you attribute this to? Why are we seeing this decline?
Good morning to you, Adrian, and the viewers. There is a concerted effort that we have been doing with all our stakeholders since the inception of our corporate agreements with the City of Cape Town and the Government of Western Cape. We have embarked on specific focus on crimes like murders and attempted murders, especially on the gang hotspot areas, where we look at the weapon of choices in the first place, because firearms, illegal firearms, are still the weapon of choices. We've taken a lot of firearms out of the street, but we are still finding a lot of firearms in these areas. Then we've also looked at the organized crime approach, where we're looking at the high flyers in this, and we're contributing more on these murder cases. And we've taken some of them. They are now in court. But the difficulty that we've found is that when we take the top, and then there's the mushrooming of the new leaders in those spaces. That's what we've been doing, and we are hopeful that the way we're going on with it, we are going to win the crime at the end of the day. Focusing more on the hotspot areas, on the gangs and then the extortion and the taxi violence, that is most of the heinous crimes that have been committed there, including hit murders in the areas where there are hit murders.
Yeah. If we look at the murder numbers, 718 cases that have been reported, and then you look at the weapon of choice, as you just mentioned now, is a firearm. 554 of these murders that have been recorded was due to gunshot wounds. Again, what does this tell us about the prevalence of these firearms? And as you've indicated as well, that it seems that the majority of them, if I'm correct on this, are actually illegal firearms.
Adrian, yes, you're correct. The illegal firearms have been used in many of these. What has also compounded it was the issue of the blank guns that have been now modified into real firearms, using also for killing. So that's a combined issues. Remember, many of these firearms they were once owned legally by people, and they either lost them, and some of them, the deceased estate firearms, that had never been re-registered to people. And the firearms that are coming from outside the country, it's one of those compounding things that we have in as far as the firearms are concerned. We've just now recently in Bedford South, where we found a storage where firearms were kept, and which we believe that they've been hired out to go and commit murders, and they come back. But we are seeing that trend as the way that the firearms are being used in the hotspot areas in the Cape Flats.
Yeah. What do you mean by blank guns? What are those?
The blank guns are the ones that are normally used by the filming industry. They fire guns, bullets like real guns, the sounds. But what has happened, because you don't need a license for that, you can buy it anywhere. Then the people now, they come to modify them and to make it real guns. They're shooting real guns, which are now killing people with those when you put in the real ammunition on it. And we're glad that now we've seen that now they're going to be banned, and we've seen that article last week that they are going to be banned from South Africa, being sold in market.
Yeah. Okay, and then let's look at the violence that takes place in the province as well. The City of Cape Town district recorded looking at the number of violent cases that have been reported in the city of Cape Town and also in the surrounding areas as well. You are more likely to get killed in a public space, according to the crime stats. And then you also have an increase in the number of assault GBH cases.
Well, the assault GBH is mostly as a result of the abuse of legal drugs, which is also our focus areas, was those are some of the generators of our crimes. When we talk about public spaces, you must remember that these cases are mostly happening in the informal settlement, the majority of them. And there you don't have a street, you don't have even a pathway to walk around. But because it's outside between the shacks, then it's also deemed to be in a public space. Those are the majority of the cases where these incidents are happening. And now that talks to now the environment designs that I know they, and also during the night that is dark, you can't actually see what's happening in the informal settlement. And if there's mushroomed a lot during the COVID in the Cape Flats.
Is there a case to be made, Police Commissioner, around resources? Yesterday, we were speaking to the provincial Premier of the Western Cape, Alan Windy, and his argument is that not enough resources are being given to SAPS. So what's your observation around that?
Look, I must say that we have been receiving a lot from what has been trained. We, at one stage, were short of more than 2,500. But I can say now, this intake that is currently in the colleges, we are receiving 850 of them, which now we've come down from that 2,500 now to, will be, once we get that at 850, we'll be short about 400 members. Because of the attrition and the people that are leaving, what is coming in also, it goes to fill in the gaps of those that they've gone out on pension and on all those things on attrition and getting some other pressure somewhere else. There's an ongoing thing, but with the cooperation with the city of Cape Town, for example, we are able to complement our forces to a better level, and that hence we see the reduction that we now are having.
All right. And just in conclusion, Police Commissioner, on Thursday we're expecting sentencing to take place on the disappearance of Jocelyn Smith, the 3 people that have been convicted. From the work that has been done by the police, just a question that I'd asked before, are there any leads that are showing you perhaps where the little girl may be? Is there anything that you're working on currently?
We have not stopped looking for Jocelyn. We are determined to find Jocelyn. We have not been able to. We have cast our net worldwide. You could remember that at one stage we stopped a vessel in the United Kingdom where we searched for 3 days, but nothing so far. Yes, we are happy with the conviction that was done, and we were hoping that we will find something from the people who are, where is Jocelyn? We are still looking. We have not closed that part. We continue with the search and looking for Jocelyn.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. Thembisile Patekile is the Western Cape Provincial Police Commissioner there on the crime statistics and also that all-important case of the disappearance of Jocelyn Smith. 3 people have been convicted for that, including her mother, for the disappearance as well as a kidnapping, and now sentencing is expected on Thursday.